system online. prodigious journeys into modern
upon the world. Blood-dimmed ties and everything. The ceremony of innocence is drowned. The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate fancy. Surely some revelation is at hand. Surely the second coming is at hand. The second coming. Hardly are those words out when a vast image, out of spiritus mundi, troubles my sight somewhere in the sands of the desert. A shape of lion body and the head of a man, a gaze blank and pitiless as the sun, is moving its slow thighs, while all about it, real shadows of the indignant desert birds. The darkness drops again, but I know that 20 centuries of stone sleep will vex to nightmare by a rocking cradle. And what will have feast? Its hour come round at last, slouches towards Bethlehem to be born.
Welcome back. It's 9 to 5. We've got ourselves a fantastic day for you. That's already started, yes, but it's fantastic for me because it's just about to begin. We've got alternate attacks going up against Izako Boars while Daddy's still on the mic with me, and this should be an interesting series. We've got both of the teams sitting on 1-for-1 in the Swiss stage rankings. If you guys are wondering how exactly that works, well, we're currently in the Swiss stage, which is the second week of the Relog 9 to 5 Cup. In this, we have 16 teams, 8 of which will be proceeding forward towards the playoffs to play in the round of 12, to then proceed forward into the round of 8, where they will be faced up against 4 teams who are waiting for them directly invited into the playoffs, which include the likes of Endpoint, Harbo, and Windstrike, amongst others. So this should be an exciting one. We've got for you a couple of great series, but first and foremost, it's the battle between the middle of the table. It's alternate attacks going up against Izako Boars. How are you feeling about this, Wild Lady?
Izako Boars showed so much promise yesterday when they were playing against Gambit youngsters. So I started to think that, okay, previously when we casted them, you didn't really give them that much credit. You said that, okay, Izako Boars don't really have that much promise, but after yesterday's games, I'm starting to think that, well, alternate attacks, they might actually be taking something over them because you saw how shaky alternate looked yesterday against Tiki Taken. So I'm starting to feel a little worried for them and hopeful for Izako Boars.
I'm sorry, did you just say I said Izako Boars look like they have no promise? What? No, absolutely not. I said Gamba youngsters were favored to beat them in a best of 3. I didn't say that Izako Boars look without promise. Shen and Shuhi, the very complicated names on your screen, and yes, I did have to check Google Translate to see how exactly to pronounce them. But both of them had a few very good moments. Arbis and Exes as well, stepping in, and while obviously always the experienced solid rock of the team. Now, unfortunately, I just think alternate attacks might have a bit more promise. So it's definitely an uphill battle going into it. And the interesting thing about this is that we've actually got both of these teams having a home veto. And we'll jump into the map picks to explain exactly what that means. In the tier 2 scene, and even in the tier 1 scene at times, famously Navi with Cash was an example back in the day, we have certain teams that like to just ban out one map every single time, no matter what happens. Alternate attacks does not have a single game of Nuke played. Izako Boars does not have a single Mirage game played. Both of these maps are actually fairly commonly played in the map pool, but interestingly enough, Mirage is actually not a map that alternate attacks is all that great on. They do have some shaky moments, even if their stats are still alright. And, Nuke for Izako Boars, although respectable, isn't... the problem is it's not always the best against higher level opponents, but it is their best map. So immediately in the veto, we see this huge disadvantage coming up for Izako Boars that attacks just doesn't play their best map.
So the reason I'm starting to feel a little worried is because we know how good alternate can be on a map like Vertigo. They have that structure going into it. They have that star power. They have that anchor power. But when we saw them yesterday, it didn't really come to life against Tiki Taken. So maybe it's going to be a different story on Vertigo. We don't know. But we've seen 2 cases where in one they have had to come back, and one in which they've gotten completely destroyed before. So alternate attacks, I'm not too confident about their form at the moment. And Izako Boars, definitely on paper, not as strong of a team as alternate, but I think there's definitely a chance here.
Well, there's a chance for sure, but the problem for me is
on Vertigo,
like you said, Vertigo.
We don't know, but we've seen 2 cases where in one they have had to come back, and one in which they've gotten completely destroyed before. So
taking it's a very structure-heavy map.
I'm not too confident about their form at the moment, and Izako Boars, definitely on paper, not as strong of a team as alternate, but I think there's definitely a chance here.
What exactly Styles can tell you. Well, there's a chance for sure, but the problem for me is
on Vertigo
should be interesting.
We don't know, but we've seen 2 cases where in one they have had to come back, and one in which they've gotten completely destroyed before. I'm not too confident about the form at the moment. Izako Boars, definitely on paper, not as strong of a team as alternate, but I think there's definitely a chance. has
still
here.
one for Izako Boars.
And
And
well,
that
there's
is
a
the
chance
big
for
one
sure,
right
but the
now.
problem for me
One
is
Vertigo
should be
should
We don't know, but
see.
I've seen
That's
some
why we
cases
don't
where
see
they
it.
won,
Like,
they
they
have had to come back and won.
providing
One
very
is
much
they
in the back,
got it
sit down,
destroyed
deep
the
sea,
fight.
they
Much more past. I'm not too confident about the format against Izako Boars.
Two very different images.
Definitely
You
on
could say that
paper,
about
not as
Notch
strong
as
as
well.
the Vertigo,
Like,
but
I
I
think
think all
the
definitely
one phase on
Vertigo,
and
obviously it's a bit of a no-brainer in most cases. But on Vertigo, they are on it. We don't know. But it will come down to case passes. One, we talked about this before, but if Izako Boars or any teammate that match allows Black to have a maneuver around the bomb site and just turret away with Izako Boars, then he can be really aggressive because definitely that one point about how strong that one person on the choke point is pretty much Vertigo, obviously, but if he doesn't get any opportunities, we don't know. But it will come down to case passes. One, we talked about this before, but if Izako Boars or any teammate that match allows Black to maneuver around the bomb site and just turret away with Izako Boars, then he can be really aggressive because definitely that one point about how strong that one person on the choke point is pretty much Vertigo, obviously, but if he doesn't get any opportunities, we don't know. But it will come down to case passes. One, we talked about this before, but if Izako Boars or any teammate that allows Black to maneuver around the bomb site and just turret away with Izako Boars, then he can be really aggressive because definitely that one point about how strong that one person on the choke point is pretty much Vertigo, obviously, but if he doesn't get any opportunities, we don't know. But it will come down to case passes. One, we talked about this before, because Izako Boars or any teammate that allows Black to maneuver around the bomb site and just turret away with Izako Boars, then he can be really aggressive because definitely that one point about how strong that one person on the choke point is pretty much Vertigo, obviously, but if he doesn't get any opportunities, we don't know. But it will come down to case passes. One, we talked about this before, because Izako Boars or any teammate that allows Black to maneuver around the bomb site and just turret away with Izako Boars, then he can be really aggressive because definitely that one point about how strong that one person on the choke point is pretty much Vertigo, obviously, but if he doesn't get any opportunities, we don't know. But it will come down to case passes. One, we talked about this before, because Izako Boars or any teammate that allows Black to maneuver around the bomb site and just turret away with Izako Boars, then he can be really aggressive because definitely that one point about how strong that one person on the choke point is pretty much Vertigo, obviously, but if he doesn't get any opportunities, we don't know. But it will come down to case passes. One, we talked about this before, because Izako Boars or any teammate that allows Black to maneuver around the bomb site and just turret away with Izako Boars, then he can be really aggressive because definitely that one point about how strong that one person on the choke point is pretty much Vertigo, obviously, but if he doesn't get any opportunities, we don't know. But it will come down to case passes. One, we talked about this before, because Izako Boars or any teammate that allows Black to maneuver around the bomb site and just turret away with Izako Boars, then he can be really aggressive because definitely that one point about how strong that one person on the choke point is pretty much Vertigo, obviously, but if he doesn't get any opportunities, we don't know. But it will come down to case passes. One, we talked about this before, because Izako Boars or any teammate that allows Black to maneuver around the bomb site and just turret away with Izako Boars, then he can be really aggressive because definitely that one point about how strong that one person on the choke point is pretty much Vertigo, obviously, but if he doesn't get any opportunities, we don't know. But it will come down to case passes. One, we talked about this before, because Izako Boars or any teammate that allows Black to
Coming in, Izako Boars tacked down early on.
Axis to fall to Cressy, and that immediately shuts down any push that might have come through. Murbit, meanwhile, on mid is having a battle of his own. Shen to put him down. Stefan, the ever so radiant anchor on this bomb site, will be trying to assist Cressy, but in the chaos within the smoke, it'll be very hard for him to find any angle. Shui, meanwhile, has crept past the smoke but he finally gets spotted. Taking one duel, he gets the second as well, and somehow Izako Boars come out on top despite losing 2 players this early on, and that was all off the back of Shui, who maneuvered his way around the bomb site, keeping them distracted long enough for his teammates to chime in.
A must-win pistol round for Izako Boars. I think it is safe to say alternate attacks are not really going to be particularly protrude by the first few rounds, so let's be perfectly honest. But Izako Boars, if you can get up to 5, if you can get up to 6, get to your CT side, there's a very solid chance that you can take control of this game, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. But Merbit's already interrupted them. Sean goes down. Shen, not Sean, dear God. Shen goes down. And it will be a 5 versus 4. Skrunk in great position with the MP9, but he can't connect. Like I said before, it can be a bit of a weak link in the frags, but adds a lot more to the team other than that. Shui waiting for the push through to come in.
Shui whiffing that spray. Is that going to end up mattering though? Because Cressy is having a fight with Tuao here. If he goes down, then the CTs might actually have a shot.
P9, but he can't.
Black's already low on HP, but Merbit, having recovered this Galil, means that they might actually have a fighting chance here. Ooh,
oh no.
Standing away with the Deagle. Slacks, those are not the shots that need to be missing, but redemption immediately comes through. Avis playing that close angle. Slacks is about to walk straight into his crosshairs, but he's going for a bit of a pixel peek before he does that. 1-on-1 now. Tuao up against Merbit. Merbit has done so much in this round, and he just needs to get a 3rd kill. Saving grace, Tuao is also on low HP, peeks out from the right, and he gets sprayed away, and that is a crucial round for Izako Boars to be losing, because alternate attacks, you cannot allow them that boost at the very start of a game.
This is going to be very difficult for alternate attack, for Izako Boars fans actually to recover from. Like you said before, this was the round which would have potentially translated into 3, 4, 5 rounds initially. You just need to win 1 gun round after that, and you've got yourself 5. But the initial pick from Cressy coming in with the MP9 gave him so much space to work around that although Skrunk misses a shot over there and Slacks is a little bit lackluster with the Deagle, he's still able to clean it all up with the picked up Galil. So now early nade comes in. Izako Boars are being read at every corner as they have been naded down yet again. We saw this in the first round, and now this time no different. This could start getting very old very quickly, but the question is, do they see Merbit? Yes, they do, but it won't translate through into a kill. There are 2 SMGs on the side of alternate attacks, but whether or not they can be put to good use is the question. Can they find the money that they're looking for?
Izako Boars already feeling the pressure because they've lost a pistol round. Now, making their way towards the B-bomb site, they will have Stefan to contend with. We've seen him be great off of that position, but will there be continued greatness as they walk in? They spotted him as he shows just a bit of his shoulder, but he'll also be showing them some bullets. He follows it up with a second, and that's the rush being stopped. Flashbang rolls out. Merbit and Cressy immediately have the opportunity to chime in because, well, they were granted way too much room here. Skrunk, meanwhile, in the back lines, tries to go for a flank, but ends up giving them a UMP instead.
Could still be brought together off the back of that AK. We've seen Shui do some fantastic things, but dropping off the building with a shot in his head is not one of them. Tuao left alone, hoping for some money, hoping for some saving grace, but it seems unlikely. Now, they are going to have a buy in the next round, remember, so any kills that Tuao can actually find are going to be huge. But with that being said, it will just be Avis on poor economy, and alternate attacks will now face off against the first somewhat proper gun round from Izako Boars. And Izako Boars, I have to say, unfortunately, the nade early on coming through was not really promising in the start because the AK-47 wielder was already tagged up. It makes it so much more difficult to go for those aggressive peaks, which you want to be able to, even though you are still in your head thinking, oh, hey, maybe someone can just pick it up behind me. Now, the T side are looking for some sort of a fix one way or another. Again, a decent nade goes in. Skrunk, however, very well positioned towards the corner of the smoke, getting ready to re-smoke it out, but it's actually going to be a full bridge take to come into play. Arvis has been forced back. Skrunk takes control. And nades down underneath the bridge. just in case there's a monster living there.
No, Skrunk though, he's about to mess up a second
One
flank
way
if
or
he keeps getting watched by at that angle. Murbit, meanwhile on mid, has gotten a kill of his own. Skrunk as well. Like I said, hasn't had the best of successes in terms of flanks, but someone has to get that job done, even if it's just to get information. Alternate attacks though, man disadvantage. Flashbang comes out towards mid, Slacks avoiding it. Is about to run into an aim duel very, very soon. Ends up winning it. Wow. These stairs looking so deadly because, I mean, every time I look at these stairs, it looks like a bloodbath for the terrorist side generally because of how teams get suffocated when they try to walk up these stairs up against alternate attacks. Is Izako Boars going to change that impression though?
With Stefan on the other side, it's not really all too likely, but you've got to Molotov him out. Chewy's molly is going to be very crucial. Unfortunately, it's in the wrong angle. Stefan is not behind D4, he's behind the concrete, and he's already gotten one. Exit trades away, a 2 versus 2, with the CTs having the HP advantage and the time working on their side. But Slacks, well, he's just denied the bomb plant from coming in, and although it will now be planted, Chewy stops, and in midway is interrupted by Cressy's bullets. 3-1 alternate attacks, despite a convoluted round where they lost in man early on. Do still translate through.
Look at the money on the T side though. $2,500 average. That is not enough even for the terrorist side to buy up. We do have a couple deagles in their hands. Tech 9 as well in the hands of Avis. So something can be done, and the name of that is probably just damage.
It seems unlikely though, with the setup that's coming in. Skrunk has come through, a couple of quick kills, although he does fall. Slacks is now left to try and pick up the pieces, but it is just Cressy to finish it off. Slacks losing his life, not ideal after Skrunk had given him information of the location. Speaking out aggressively like that, it's a good sign for me personally. I want to see Slacks have that confidence, but when that confidence is then punished, it seems like a bit of a ticking time bomb at times. However, they keep the AWP alive. They stop the bomb from being planted. They make sure that Izako Boars don't get too much of a buffer in their economy, while they themselves save quite a few weapons. So, good continuation from alternate attacks, but you can see they are still stretched very thin, and maybe this can be what stretches them apart. Avis, run boosted forward. Can he find the kill initially?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be ready for this. Stefan, though, he's repositioned himself, but that also means that he shows a little bit of his arms. He immediately goes down to that. Run boost working out nice and easy. Pressure is on alternate attacks now to have more resources distributed towards the B bomb site or to have more aggressive ramp control. Flashbangs and mollies roll out. Moving into the bomb site, Cressy, first line of defense, he picks up 2 quick kills. He's still maneuvering around the orange boxes though while Slacks chimes in. Murbit will too, and there it is. Alternate attacks, despite losing that first player and having that entry, Cressy just makes it look so easy and allows his team the room to hold down the line.
Beautiful support as well coming in from Slacks to make sure that Cressy didn't have to worry all too much, but that second kill that he's able to get where he it wasn't even a flick, he just calmly moves his mouse over to spray down the player on his left side. That was very nicely done. Cressy's obviously that second arm of the B site, and now he's back in A, finds himself Chewy, takes him down. Cressy's just working all around the map apparently, and we can see why, because he is finding success wherever he goes. He's got the Midas touch, because everything's just turning to gold and dying.
And meanwhile, he might have gotten a bit of an opening for the T side, but not like it matters too much because they don't have any weaponry to follow it up with. Cressy just having a good old day at the firing range.
Bounds it up, cleans it together, and Shen, AK in hand, yes, but what can we really expect?
Whenever I see something like this, I wonder if they're gonna fish for real.
They didn't. It's alternate attacks. Some teams do. Some teams do, actually. I think, I can't remember. I believe it was Smash which occasionally did that and lost a few too many players on their CT side. That was a while back, though, so I don't exactly remember. I think I saw it a few times about 2-3 months ago in a few games that I was casting. However, with that being said, alternate attacks are now in a position to start ramping up their economy. They're already sitting at about $5,000 average money across the table. Izako Boars on the other side wouldn't mind more than money, but maybe a few rounds here and there, even if alternate attacks have got money to be able to rebuy. Just a nice little something to add to the table. Flashbang goes out. Slacks will be forced off his angle, but Merbit is the one to fall. Shen just peeks in, takes him down. Easy does it. Slacks is still maintaining, though. He wants to get this refrag really badly, and he might just be taking away valuable time where he could be rotating, because it's all the way over towards the A site that the T's are already headed. Smoke will go down, but that shouldn't delay them too much because they've got their own wall of smokes that has fallen. A Molotov comes in to prevent Aves from moving forward. However, maybe the terrorists have waited too long.
Yeah, with the Molotovs rolling out, it still won't matter too much because Strong has already moved up past the angle. He still gets eliminated on Alley, though. One player playing off a boost and one right behind him. Slacks, big work on his hands. While Exus has already taken care of Pressy. 2 versus 4. Slacks makes that a little bit easier by getting the first. Missing the second shot will mean that his team cannot still be there to fight. Ooh. 2 to 6. Izako Boars barely scraping that one past, and that was off of the miss from Slacks. Otherwise, that would have been a pretty comfortable 2 versus 2 retake, or at least a shot at it.
Izako Boars do find themselves a gap in the CT defense because of Slacks being eager to get the refrag. I think Slacks might have expected more of an aggression to come through from mid in case there was still a player there, or he might have just wanted to eliminate the flank if nothing else. Early on, Avis is tagged up heavily. Cressy just flings his aim onto him, but unfortunately can't quite finish off the kill. Skrunk's the one who comes through with 2 and keeps it in a 3 versus 3 equalized situation.
A little unfortunate for Cressy that he swung out so wide, but still being down to a 3 to 3. It is anyone's round. Making their sweet time now. They're making their way towards B, on which there's only one defensive Stefan. You know that he can be a one-man army when it comes to these stairs. Where you've seen him previously get shot down by Avis. Can he replicate the successes of Days Gone? Molotovs roll out, the utility is there, and now the information is there as well. The rotation is being called in by alternate attacks. Stefan trying to hold down the line, but before he does, he's just going to be waiting for his teammates. This is a smart move because he's been backed off.
Oh, that Molotov was just a little bit off, otherwise he wanted to be able to deny the bomb from being planted initially. The 3v3 retake is going to be very difficult unless Merbit can give them a fantastic flash to work with, because a resmoke comes in from the terrorist side. Shen's given a lot of cover because of it, and he's also just nestled away inside the corner. So the CTs on Connector want to be facing off against him. They have to be careful. Avis has been given information and a shot to work with as well, but Stefan is there with a trade. Stefan will fall. Shen will come through and complete the 2K. Takes them all the way over towards that 3rd round mark. Izako Boars once again very nicely done with the early picks coming through, although they were equalized by Skrunk's 2 kills. A 3 versus 3 inherently favors the terrorist side. Stefan not in his aggressive positioning on that B site the way he normally likes to play, was already playing for the retake. The second that Molotov missed, there was very little chances of them being able to actually close it out.
I'm a little surprised that Stefan backed off there, because generally you see him holding down the line so effectively, and with the kind of corners you see on Vertigo, it's expected. Dear God.
That's alright. Oh, Merbit. Nestled away in the corner with the Deagle. We've seen him have some moments, but Izako Boars are the ones who are having their time right now. Finally, with CT side economy being broken, they are being given a free round. And I say free with quotes around the word, because Deagles can really make make things very, very, very expensive. Izako Boars, their goal is just to make sure they can keep some money alive. Although they are on the T side, you do still see a few of them are hurting for cash to some extent. Twao being the obvious one, sitting on $0 right now. Would really like to be able to keep that armor moving forward. Smoke comes out. It's a one-way from the CT side. Skrunk is moving past that wall of smokes initially. Comes through with a quick kill. And he picks up the AK. But before that can come through, Twao stabs him in the back. Cressy to bring it to a 4v3. But can he find more?
Ooh, it's already a 3-on-3. But with Deagles, it's going to be so hard to come around the smoke. And that comes true because I just leave Stefan. Deagle in hand. Hoping for damage. Trying to find a head or two. That was still nicely done by Izako Boars, though. I mean, having those smokes up, still taking their time to enter a bomb site, making sure that those pistols can't come to life too all that too much. Almost had the equalizer too, which is a surprise. Which is kind of surprising to see straight off of a 6-1, because once alternate attacks gets that ball rolling, you do not see teams coming straight back into it. They haven't had the best of luck though on the alternate attack side. You've seen how Skrunk, 3 times he's been caught on the flank, and Slacks hasn't quite gotten too much control of mid. Ramp push goes out though.
This could be big. Cressy, are they going to Molotov him out? Because Skrunk is taking up so much time and information away from them. Exes finds Cressy on the retreat, and Slacks will be next to fall. A 5 versus 3, and suddenly Izako Boars are looking like they could be equalizing the scoreline soon enough if things keep going this way. Alternate attack considering whether or not it's worth it to go for the save.
Yeah, with all 5 members alive on the Izako side, it'll be incredibly difficult for alternate to do anything more wise than a save. Especially with Skrunk holding on to that AWP. It means that they have a genuine chance in the upcoming rounds. But man, Shen is making it more expensive for them by the second, and he puts down Stefan. Skrunk getting a little aggressive here to try to shut down Shen as a refrag, even though they are going for a save. Doesn't want to allow him to get too up close and personal.
Skrunk scouts out Twao. Twao is going to be tagged up pretty heavily early on. But a 2 versus 5. CT side desperate to save these weapons. However, Izako Boars are more than happy to chuck out some utility, chuck out some bodies, and see what they can find. Merbit will fall. Shen to take him down, and it seems like the AWP will not survive either. Very nicely done. Izako Boars hunting them down methodically. Alternate attacks are looking very shaky at this point, and a lot of it is coming down to these early picks that they're occasionally giving away. Yes, they get refrags on occasion, but over here you saw how Cressy just caught out while he's trying to retreat back from the sandbags. He actually stops to try and face down the AWP early on, which I'm not sure if he did before he realized the AWP is there. Maybe it was after the AWP had seen him, but it seemed a little bit greedy to say the least. Alternate attacks suffering for that though, and a 6-6 seems inevitable, short of a miracle.
Ooh, the Steagle lineup might just be the miracle though, but Merbit, unfortunately for him, he gets caught out. A pixel shows, and a pixel is all that Shui needs. Izako Boars now making quick work of the alternate attack side now that they have the weaponry advantage. Should be a pretty clean round coming in, and really, for the most part, when it comes to alternate losing these rounds, is because they gave up that early control to Izako Boars. Getting that man disadvantage so early on, it allows Izako to take their time and pretty much take any bomb site, because alternate, well, they're gonna have to reposition. They're gonna have to reposition, and that leaves a lot of holes in your defenses.
Ooh, scrum. At least he's good for 1 kill. Yeah, feel good about yourself, even if it doesn't really matter all too much in the grand scheme of things. But the grand scheme is not all. You gotta be careful. You know, just take care of yourself. Get yourself some deagle kills here and there. Stefan is hoping to take care of them, but as it turns out, it's a little bit harder than he expected. Avis comes in from the side, takes him down 6-6. Alternate attacks, not having anyone really finding success with the pistols, and because of that, his Izako Boars are not going to be particularly perturbed. I'm curious to see whether aTTaX want to go for the secondary AWP over here. It seemed like Skunk was considering it for a little while, but he decides against it at the very end. This is the round which aTTaX needs to win, though. This is where things are going to get very, very difficult for them if they go down. Izako Boars fully flash up the CT side, and Avis is good for 2 kills early on. Cressy and Skronk are the trade as they try to get aggressive, and Slacks is the only one left on this A side.
Very unfortunate that Skronk fell because, well, there was a flashbang in his face. But Izako suddenly switching up their pace. They will be taking their time. Now they know they have those 2 entry kills, so they are in no rush whatsoever. Slacks, meanwhile, though, he will have a huge job on his hands as he tries to stop the ramp push. Should that come through, playing from alley. Ooh. This could be disastrous. Izako making their way towards B now. That just leaves 1 player on the B site for alternate attacks in the form of Stefan. We've seen him time and time again. Is he going to retreat this time around, though? He's going to stick to his guns, tries to get the first kill, and he does, but isn't able to follow it up further. Mervin now doesn't have the room to move into the bomb site because there are too many angles to be checking here. Shen, though, makes that look so easy, wins those aim duels. And there it is, 7-6, the advantage for Izako Boars, which is not something I would expect at all up against alternate.
Shen has been balling out of control for me, and I don't mean that because his scoreline is super impressive or anything. No. Shen's positioning is impeccable in a lot of these rounds. He looks so comfortable on Vertigo. It looks like he was born and bred on an unfinished skyscraper, and I don't know if that's supposed to mean anything, but maybe it does. Whatever. Avis, however, want to give him some love as well. He had excellent spacing coming up behind Nexus. Nexus goes down. Stefan can't really check for the second player because he's worried about the inevitable flank that would be coming through from Shen. Stefan looks over to the side, and right as he does that, Avis comes out a little bit late. You're normally expecting CTs to be double peaked by the terrorist side. Not this time. Not when they know that Shen is the deadly force that can come through as the counterweight to the B stairs push. And because of that, Stefan overwhelmed, taken down. Really good job from Izako Boars in actually forcing him out of position repeatedly into a place where he just feels too awkward to do much. And I have to say, we haven't actually seen him playing around double oranges very often these days. And we can see over here, Shen sitting not on the highest of ratings in the past 3 months, but he's definitely sitting pretty in this game. So that's what matters. That CT who's dead, that CT died of shame. Because aTTaX, you know what? They don't want to... Listen, I'm sorry. That CT... He's like, this is our best map. We have 80% win rate. No!
All right, console kill. There we go. Don't worry, guys. I have a plan. Disconnect.
No, but I am very impressed by what Izako Boars is putting out on the terrorist side. CT side might be slightly trickier, but I will absolutely look forward to it with great anticipation. And in the meanwhile, you guys have got a lot to look forward to as well. You guys have round 2 of the Esports Million to look forward to, which is that it is now live. This time, Unicorn are offering everyone who participates a chance to win a Main Gear Vive Stage 3 gaming PC. And by the way, those PCs are sexy. I looked at them yesterday when we had a technical pause. Oh my god, I want one so badly. The top 50 answers will share $5,000 of Unicorn bets as well. This is all just a lead up though to the €1 million giveaway during Cups 3 and 4. Anyone who answers all 10 questions right will win the life-changing prize. No hoax, no scam. This is real. Get involved at ukrn.io/esportsmillions. That's ukrn.io, as in all letters. Oh, not just that, though. Unicorn are great in more than one way. They're actually the website with the most CSGO betting options in the world. You can join Unicorn today and get €80 of bets from a €20 deposit. Bet on yourself in CSGO pubs, bet on pro teams, or get fresh esports matches 24/7, even when events are offline. Unicorn won Esports Bookmaker of the Year in 2019. Find out why today with your 300% first deposit bonus using code RELOG, and that is RELOG as in RE, as in the sound that you're going to be making if you're an alternate aTTaX fan and they lose Vertigo. Free! And then log as in what alternate aTTaX is being hit by Izako Boars right now, a big old piece of wood.
Very nice way to put it.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to get some fame in the chat for that one.
That's perfectly fine. It happens.
Yeah.
That's why
I
you
really
click the
enjoy
cute
watching
little
aTTaX
X
on
on the
Vertigo
top right
channel.
of your Twitch chat, and that's out of mind, out of sight. Or the other way around, whatever it was.
It's all right. The point is, out of mind is the important bit.
Yeah. Alternate attacks, though, we've seen how their aggression hasn't quite been working out because Izako Boars keep switching up their pace. Sometimes they have one waiting, sometimes they don't, and in that sense, they keep getting mistimed every time there is aggression on their side. Now, this time around, they're going to be taking things slow because they do have deagles. They're banking on Izako Boars to walk into those crosshairs, but a one-for-one trade will come through. Murbit gets spotted by Tuao, and the Molotov will be huge to knock him out of position. Ooh, I like this repositioning from him. But the smoke from the teammate is there to chime in as well.
This is the round where aTTaX is helping to pull off some sort of individual play. I like that Cressy has been boosted up. They haven't been using it so far, but he misses out on these players. Now he has a chance to connect, but he's missed the shot, and because of it, he won't get a single kill despite having the opportunity for multiple. Cressy, are you my brother? Because that's exactly what I would be doing in that situation. Slacks has got to step up with the eagle now, but Stefan on the side, MP9 at the ready, looking to cut off the AWP on its way back inside ramp. Will they realize that it's time for them to potentially go to the B side? No, it's actually time for them to make sure Slacks is dead.
Stefan on the back lines. He's the man you want as the anchor, but what can you do if you have an MP9? And with the smokes being deployed, it'll be so hard for him to work his way back into the site. Shen coming from behind, though, like, this is an example of his impeccable positioning. He always ends up being in the right spot, especially for those post-plant positions. There, Stefan could have actually been quite deadly. He could have been very expensive for the T side, but they didn't let that happen.
A lot of deagle shots being missed, though, unfortunately. Cressy could have won them the round right there, but there's light whiff coming in, and you can see aTTaX are phased. They are definitely a little bit worried. I think the pressure might be getting to them at this point. Remember, they are already 1-for-1 as one of the favorites to go through towards the playoffs. So, if you're down 1-for-2 after this series, in case Izako Boars is able to upset you, things can look pretty rough. Remember, Swiss stage and the way it works is that the team has to get the 3 wins in order to proceed forward to the playoffs. 3 losses means you are out. So, aTTaX, definitely reason to be worried and definitely reason to be fighting back, and they will fight back with a very expensive buy. The double up comes through.
This is going to work out for them, though. Now, Izako Boars, they're being very aggressive towards Ram. The flashes, the utility, so much of it has been deployed. But they are up against 3 players already from the CT side that are waiting. Slack still will be able to find the angle on Shen. So that's the lurker immediately being eliminated. Shui, meanwhile, has made his way pretty close to the bomb site, and with that flashbang will allow himself to get towards the left, which allows him to smoke off the elevated positions. Wow. Oh, that Molotov. He will plant that bomb despite that. And now a 5-on-4 retake ensues.
Well, they're chucking out the smokes, but Slacks has hit the close range shot. Shu, he's trying to jump up to dodge it, but he just jumped into the barrel. Missed these 12 on 3 HP to do a lot of work, but he has already gone to rest. Avis catches a player with his back turn, looking for more. He will be able to swing out, but can't connect the shots. Cressy to take him down. X is left with a deagle and a dream. The smoke is dissipating. X is trying to jump through, but Murbit was ready and waiting. Nicely done from aTTaX. The 7th round is secured off the back of a double off setup, which, in all fairness, wasn't really what won them the round. However, good retake comes through from them. This time around, they don't lose too many players early on, and Izako Boars will have to be content with 8, which, in all fairness, is still a pretty good scoreline.
We've seen how shaky alternate attacks can be on their terrorist side, though, which is what worries me for them. Because when we started, even in the pregame, we said that Vertigo would be a bit of a no-brainer. At least I did. I said that. I said Vertigo would be a no-brainer for alternate attacks, but it doesn't seem like it's the case anymore. And if alternate loses out on this map, then it would be a pretty big upset, but Izako Boars, I think they have a very good chance to take it to 2-0.
Well, It's the best chance, yes. I think the problem is I actually think that even if they lose train, overpass from alternate tax is shaky as well. So there's no reason for Izako Boars to not be even potentially favored to win the series should they win the map pick of alternate attacks.
Yeah, so far they've been doing everything in their power to make it look like they will. And with already having 8 rounds on the T side, that is such a beautiful half coming out from them. But can they have the impenetrability that we've seen from alternate attacks come to life on the Izako Boars side instead?
Let's also keep in mind, though, that attacks, we've seen them be shaky on the terrorist side, but that was also one game where we saw them be shaky.
No,
Let's not rustle too many jimmies on the attack side about this, because they are a very good Vertigo team for a reason. Their terrorist side is not weak by any means. I believe it was just crazy who going up against them on their CT side had one of the best performances individually of their lives. So when you're faced off against something where I believe one player had 20 kills in the first half, that's not too easy to deal with. Now though, Shuhei, trying to find the early picks, is going to be missing a few shots. He has been whipping a little bit here and there, but hopefully he can try and recover, bring it all the way back. Murbit looking to get aggressive, but he's actually watching in the flanks. I wonder if he wants to take control of over bridge now that they have got the bomb plan, but it's trying to move forward and move in.
With the plant being in that position, it is perfectly set up for the terrorist side, but they're straight up going for the defuse. What is this? No players have even been taken down for the CT side. How does he end up getting that defuse? And just a little bit of miscommunication there, which ended up with Murbit trying to, or sorry, Cressy trying to go for the knife in the wrong spot. That was... I don't know what to say about that. You need some balls to straight up go for that defuse.
Well, they had them. What else? They had them. They had them all. Every single one of them. Izako Boars will be very happy to have taken away the pistol round though, but attacks, remember, one thing that we have to keep in mind is that when the op versus op duel comes through, that's going to be a major decider for Izako Boars' side, whether or not X's can come alive and come through with the AWP. He's not had the best of games so far. It's largely been Avis and Shen propelling them forward, but hell, if Avis can keep doing this, finding kills through smokes, maybe he doesn't even need to.
Cressy though. Ooh, he's trying to find the angle on Shuhei. I don't think he will very soon though, because the smoke does not favor him. Definitely Slash though, meanwhile showing us what Deagles are made of as they've gotten 2 kills apiece. Shuhei almost falling as well. Gets a little bit lucky and doesn't get tagged by the Deagle. Now just leaves Slacks, who doesn't want to save that weapon either. Obviously, because that would mess with his round loss bonus.
For a second there, I thought you said that would mess with his stats, because I just saw, oh, numbers. Yes, numbers are stats. And I was just thinking, what? What do you mean? Of course dying doesn't mess, dying messes with your stats, not the other way around. But evidently I've been playing a little bit too many pugs lately. Izako Boars, however, now are going to be faced up against the attack side full buy. Attacks have got themselves actually a bit of an issue in terms of utility. They have only 2 Molotovs, and that's a very big difference maker if you want to take control over Ali. Look at this though, Murbit, who's holding the pixel peak, has not been spotted, so Wow, despite the flashbang coming in, might not be able to take him down in time. Murbit, beautifully played. What a nice position for him to have taken early on. Stefan as well will punish Shuhei's aggression. You already see a 2 versus 5. X's will do what he can, but that will not be enough. Avis, last man left standing, but not too many legs to support him.
Avis, meanwhile, putting down Murbit. It's not going to matter too much for the alternate attack side, because now that they're on the T side, money won't be too big of a concern, but they have yet to build up an economy. Avis looking to save this. Alternate attacks catching a bit of a break here as they finally win around. Meanwhile, Izako Boars, I think they've gotten their foot through the door. They just need to close it out. Now they're on the that they're on the CT side, but when you're up against alternate, man, obviously, as you said, their terrorist side, it's not weak. Vertigo is one of their best maps for a reason, and they might just show it to us.
There's still a long way to go, though, for the terrorist side. However, like you were about to point out, money's not going to be great on the CTs. Izako, this was, of course, their first gun run on the CT side, and that almost always means that you're going to have your money broken should you lose it. So alternate attacks coming through and having a chance to potentially even equalize over here, especially if this force buy that's coming out doesn't work and they're actually going for this. This is very surprising. I thought they'd want to save up for the AWP later on.
Alternate attacks. They showed a little bit of early aggression there with the nade and Stefan getting up close, but then they back off. And Mermit just playing around in this firing range, getting his AK warmed up and ready for the real duels.
I don't think that's how guns work.
That's how they work. Trust me.
He just has to go for a morning jog and a stretch to make sure he doesn't get injured. Shen trying to save the day from a nice little corner behind the tractor, but both he and Shui will go down. And a very chaotic round from Izako Boars, because when they try and get aggressive into mid, that's a very double-edged sword for a couple of reasons, which is that when you're on this kind of a force buy where you have 3 rifles and a couple of deagles, generally what you want is for the deagles to get aggressive in a place where, should you die, at least the information you get is going to be significantly valuable. Because then maybe you can try and get a good stack going with the rifles, you can try and have them make a set play. But dying in mid towards connected, that just means you're dead. You got nothing out of it. And because of it, Izako Boars and then afterwards isolated in that 3 versus 5. So they didn't even have a chance because of where those deagles actually ended up going down. So it's these small things about choosing your battles, and unfortunately, I think that might have been a bit of a mistake, which will come back to bite them later on, and that later on might just be as soon as even the next round, where, let's not forget, loss bonus isn't great, so you're looking at an average of $4,300 across them for the next round, short of any USB kills that might bump up their money a bit.
Meanwhile, though, they're slowly getting control of A side. They know that they're in the right. They've got a minute on the clock. And, well, Izako Boars don't really have anything to fight back with. But what they're making sure of is that they don't get rushed by USPs. Bit of a sloppy kill from Slacks, but not like it matters. Should be a cleanup coming out. Look at this player in the smoke, though. Tried to get a little cheeky. The problem here for Izako, though, is that if alternate attacks get this ball rolling, as soon as they get the equalizer, then the pressure will constantly be on the Izako Boars side to maintain their economy. They won't be allowed the privilege of just getting away with rounds. They will have to do so cleanly, and so far it doesn't seem like alternate attacks can go down without a fight. So even if they lose 3 or 4 players around, alternate attacks can still buy up, but Izako Boars can't.
Well, this is what, 5 rounds now, and we haven't seen an AWP coming out of the CT side yet. It's about 5 rounds, and okay, oh, all right, we have it, but it's on Shen. That's interesting. Okay, so they do prioritize it. They do like it, but this will be very interesting. Shen goes down early on. Never mind, I retract my statement. This is now 5 rounds without an AWP being seen, because that AWP was invisible in the impact it had.
Izako Boars, though, they have the man disadvantage, and they're still fighting with Cressy and Slacks. Luckily, though, Tuao will get something out of that bargain. Shui, meanwhile, has to hold down ramp all on his own. He will be using that smoke to maneuver his way in. Ooh, Stefan could actually get caught off guard by this, but they're taking their sweet time, and that might mean that the smoke dissipates before they actually go in. Ability rolling out. Now it will come down to Shui, and the re-smoke, but Murbit catches a glimpse of him. There it is, 2 versus... three retakes should come through, but the bomb hasn't even been planted yet. Twao getting a kill off of the boost position. That leaves Stefan to fall to Exus and Slacks. He's only picked up 1 kill with the AWP just yet, and he will be dropping it in exchange for an AK-47, trying to find this angle. The 1 versus 2 is doable because he can isolate these duels, but he does not get the opportunity to. 11 to 10, Izako Boars immediately picking up a round as soon as they get the economy back in their favor.
Interesting thing to point out of there, Merbit, when he got the kill inside the smoke, the reason why he was able to do that wasn't because he caught a glimpse of Izako Boars. Funnily enough, it was actually because when the re-smoke came in, it tagged the Izako Boars player, and because of that, Merbit heard the sound cue, and the smoke sound very different when it's hitting a body, and he just sprayed into the smoke, realizing what's going on. So it's just a small little tidbit of information right there that works out against them, but they do still have an AWP this time in the hands of Exus. Hopefully it can get a little bit more done than it did in the previous round. The
fact that he's been able to get another AWP is a little surprising for me. Because, well, the money isn't too good on the CT side, but let's see if that actually works out for them. Alternate attacks, meanwhile, have very good control of ramp, and they have yet to be contested. All 5 players alive for both sides, and with a minute on the clock, we will be seeing some moves being made soon.
Izako. Izako is going to try and... Oh, wow. Ooh, that's a big chunky nade onto Exus. Both being planted, but Skrunk's trying to move through. Stefan's taken down Shui already. Exus, well, he's already so low. He might just be considering calling for the save at this point for his teammate. Twao is down, and it will indeed be just that. Izako Boars, with their whittled down loss bonus, do not feel comfortable going for this. They realize that they might just be throwing away the game should they attempt it. Now, they had an excellent side come T-side, but after their initial few wins via the pistol round and whatnot, they haven't looked all that impressive, short of a few individual plays that netted them a single round. So I'm curious to see what kind of adjustments start to come in, if there will be any adjustments in the first place. I would really like to see a bit more utility being chucked over towards ramp early on to try and take control, or stairs. Either one of those works for me. Just not inside mid, because Merbit on mid is such a menace consistently. No matter what you see him play, no matter who you see him play, Merbit can take control of mid 9 times out of 8. So I want to see Izako Boars actually get a lot more done with these MP9s here.
Vertigo being the map that it is, I think the MP9 can be quite the force to be reckoned with. Let's see if it is in their hands, though. Shui getting up close towards ramp. Lots of attention from Izako Boars towards A, because they're pretty much banking on alternate attacks coming this way. And with the way that B side is being played, passivity being shown, I don't think they'll be giving up a kill there. Lax can't quite find the angle on Twao just yet, but should the T's decide to move in, they're going to be up for a nasty surprise, as there are way more players waiting there than they bargained for.
Ooh, flashbang. Also of X's, but he's still repositioned. Skrunk is down. He wasn't expecting the angle, despite a few pot shots being fired earlier on. And Stefan, he is being tagged up just a little bit. Now comes out the aggression that I wanted, but maybe a bit late into the round. However, could still work out. You see Ali and Lane still being under control of the Izako Boars side, so going in over here is going to be massively difficult. Exus going for the shot, but he doesn't quite spam through. Stefan mollies him off of position. Exus is still waiting for him to come through, and Stefan is down and out. Somehow that molly didn't spread. Shui is given space to push through, take down the bomb, and leave Merbit alone, where he'll try to fight them off, but he will be unsuccessful in his attempt.
Such a back and forth game so far. We've seen that alternate attacks, they seem to pick up the pieces, and then Izako Boars comes right back in. So it's anyone's game at this point, but because of the way the economy works, Izako Boars, they cannot afford to let anyone down at the moment. They need to be picking up these clean rounds if they want to stay alive for that 16. Meanwhile, though, alternate attacks feeling pressure of their own because of that round deficit. Not too big of a round deficit just yet, but it can spiral out of control. Bit of attention towards mid. Some utility being tossed. Now they're taking control of B. The B stairs, always so favorable when alternate attacks are on the CT side. But can this be replicated the other way around? Shen playing towards the first box.
Oh. Going in, Kronk has found. Oh, he doesn't actually. Shen's taking him down already. Stefan tries to recover his old stomping grounds, but Twao is good for the trade. A 4 versus 3 will quickly devolve into madness as the CT advantage is maintained, but not for long. Merbit takes down one more to bring it back to a 2v2. 55 seconds on the clock, but the clock isn't the only thing that's ticking down. The T-side numbers are as well. Slacks now has to find off 2 of these CTs, but at least he has a bomb and some time to work with.
Yeah, with 40 seconds and a pretty good positional advantage here, I think this 1 versus 2 is in the realm of possibility. But he has to watch out for Avis, who is on that boost, and at any point in time, he could pop right out. Bomb starting to go down now, the legendary code being typed in. There's the peek from Avis, and a 1-tap to end Slacks. Straight to the head, and no time being spent on that duel, and a very comfortable round. Well, not too comfortable, but still an impressive round from Izako Boars as they managed to keep an AWP in their hands and an AK-47.
I'm curious about whether or not we can see Izako Boars keep up this scrappy pace, though, because it seems like a lot of these rounds are coming down to well-positioned CT players or winning aim duels. And although the well-positioning is definitely replicatable, aim duels winning is a little bit less so. A nade that's beautifully played from Shui will do a lot of damage, but the trade-off is his life. However, Exis is happy with that because it gives him a chance to shoot down Slacks as he's giving away the information on his position. X is still looking to stay aggressive. One misstep and he will be saying hello to the ground very quickly, but he gets off of his little ledge in the air very quickly.
What do you mean he'll be saying hello to the ground very quickly? There's 22 floors.
That's true. It actually takes a while.
Yeah, it'll be a while.
It takes a while.
First you'll hear and then you'll hear the hello.
It's like when you're ringing the doorbell and no one's coming and you're wondering if they're just standing you up, but Stefan is standing on the head of Twao, taking him down. Exis will be mollied off soon enough. They're going to try and get the kill before he can reposition, and Cressy is good for it. It leaves Avis to do a lot of dirty work, and I say dirty because his head is full of blood as Kronk will shoot him right through. Shen attempting to save at least one of the AWPs, but he's in a 1 versus 3, and something tells me alternate attacks might be thirsty for blood.
Look at the money, though, on the Izako Boars side. They look so strong for 2 rounds, but immediately they're put in a position where the money will disallow them from getting a decent buy. Again, though, I think it should be a pretty comfortable save for him. So, at the very least, there is that saving grace, because the AWP can entirely change where you can get picks and whether or not you can get the early advantage.
What do you think needs to change for the Izako Boars side? Because like I said before, a lot of it just does seem to be slightly scrappy aim duel winning when they are winning these rounds. It comes off the back of good positioning, but I'm not really seeing too much in terms of like really good utility usage, really good flash timings, anything on those lines. It does seem like they're hanging in there by a thread, but it's a very variable thread that can fall out at any point.
Yeah, the way alternate attacks has been playing, where they have barely any attention towards the other bomb site. I mean, even now you can see that they have some attention towards mid and B. some pushes coming through from the Izako Boars side or some aggression might be what nets them that early information, because if they're winning these aim duels and that's what they're relying on, that means they haven't really been able to get those early advantages. We see that there's no ramp aggression right now. Izako Boars playing so passively, and in this case what I would have liked to see from Shen would be for him to get aggressive with the AWP, so at the very least he can get the early advantage for his team. Meanwhile though, he gets greeted by a player in alley and he says goodbye to him. Sprunk moving straight into the bomb site, and now Shen is in between a rock and a hard place, but he will batter that rock to death. Oh, as he gets one. X is chiming in with a USB as well. That leaves Slacks and Murbit in a 2 versus 4. A very unlikely round from the Izako Boars side, but it will be. Ooh, it is yet to be brought to fruition though, as Murbit. Ah, man, oh man. Wow, coming in from the back lines. Murbit felt so comfortable there after getting that nade kill. He thought he could be isolating those duels, but getting flanked there, a little unfortunate.
So the good thing about how Izako Boars was winning, where I pointed out that there are certain flaws in, you know, their utility usage and whatnot, the good thing about winning off of good positioning and scrappy aim deals is that you can do it in pistol rounds. And you saw it right there. X's finding the USB kills was very big and very, very surprising to me. However, nicely done from him. Izako Boars have been given a little bit of a lifeline even. Alternate attacks are on a very poor buy, and the question is, can they punish? Avis has already moved in for the first kill. The Molotov is extinguished, and Avis is just spraying through the smoke, getting some good damage in. But can they get more? It's X's to chime in. Shuey ready to keep adding to his tally, and it's a 1 versus 5 as Shuey's USB TikToks away, as well as the Croc of Skrunk's life. Tick tock, you're dead to X's.
If my clock sounded like that, I'd be getting a new one very soon. Sorry, I was late for work because my clock kept talking.
Oh, dead to X's.
But look at Chewy though, man, holding down the line from behind that smoke, beautifully done, and that was off of the distraction created by his teammates. Izako Boars immediately capitalizing on the lifeline that was granted to them. 15 to 12, now it is the match point, and alternate attacks, because of the fact that they're on Deagles, they're gonna have to replicate what Izako Boars did in the previous round. Granted that they'd have an AWP to start things off, and alternate attacks, they have the pocket ops.
They haven't really had too many rounds with those pocket ops though, where I've seen them look like their normal impressive selves. Stefan and Slacks are incredibly good with it though, so I'm waiting to see. Maybe it can be their time to shine. Maybe it's their time to save the day. However, aTTaX needs to be very careful. Exis is incredibly aggressive, and that flashbang will force him back, but he's good for a repeat and looking for more. He's missed the shot, but the P250 is pulled out, and it will allow a retreat, as the T side was slightly hesitant of going into those spammed away bullets. Exis not done yet, playing so aggressively. I really like how he's doing this actually. Vertigo contesting ramp so heavily, and even gets another flick in. Although Mervit thought he had distracted him for a while, it's just Avis left to try and shut down Stefan on this site. However, as I say that, there is a flank. Shuey to take him down. 16 to 12, Izako Boars against all odds take the first map. Look at this from Exis, man. Insane.
Oh yeah, and with that being set up, this just means that Izako Boars have opened their gates. So they've opened the one opportunity they needed to potentially even bring it to 2-0.
Well, we'll have to wait to see whether or not it can come to fruition. The next map is the map pick of Izako Boars, so this could be a big one. We'll be back with Train in just a bit.
Initialize booting. These are your targets. You must find, capture and contain them until extraction vehicle arrives. Witnesses are irrelevant. Leave them unharmed if you can. End of transmission. system online. Serious? PewDiePie. What? It's not. It's he's doing.
How can you eat me 20% better?
Serious? PewDiePie. What? It's not. Do it now. What good is it for? Sending a million subscribers doesn't. What? It's not. What? It's not. PewDiePie. Additional. Serious. PewDiePie. PewDiePie. Additional. Serious.
Dun, 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 dun. That is a sound of dread that alternate attacks fans are feeling right now as they have lost their own map pick. It might not be a very accurately presented sound, but hey, Izako Boars has a chance to 2-0 this.
Oh yeah, they definitely do because they beat alternate attacks on a map that they almost have a 90% win rate on. That is the upset that very few were expecting, I think. If any.
What do you think we should be expecting though? Because one thing I'm really excited about, to be honest, is Izako Boars did not have a very good first half in terms of, you know, their ability to translate kills with an AWP. But X's on CT side, oh,
yeah, he was
That
a
was
completely different beast on the CT side, but I think it really does come down to the battle of the operas here, because if Slacks isn't able to pick things up for his team, if he isn't able to get those early picks, I think it might be over for alternate attacks. I mean, sure, we put a lot of pressure on him, but you also have to keep in mind that's the responsibility that is bestowed upon you as an opper.
Well, you've also got yourself a nice little bestowment on you. You can check it out, Esports Millions. It's esm.grid.gg. And some interesting things are going to be going live soon. The €1 million giveaway, which we'll be giving you more information about later on in the game if we get a technical timeout or something on those lines. And we've got a bit of time to chat. But right now, no time to talk, no time to chat. It's time to get into the action.
Oh, look at this player from Izako Boars. They have so much Ivy aggression coming through, but Stefan might just be set up for this with Cressy.
Stefan. Oh, hey, Shen goes down. This could be very difficult. Shen was in position to go for the recovery. But it is Axis to come in from the side to see if he can shut down Stefan. Stefan misses a shot. Axis wanting to take the peek out. Is going to get a quick tag in. That is a dink. But he's really, that's just all zero. Dewey, maybe he can save his Kevlar. He does have 100 of it. So at the very least, it will be something taken forward. But if not, I mean, okay, Chewie wants to contest suddenly. All right, maybe he just expected he was being hunted down. That's a bit confusing.
Alternate attacks, so very good.